Hello, everyone. Today's journey is going to take us on a section of old Route 66 from Wilmington to Pontiac, Illinois. For a short stretch, I consider it to be one of the most intriguing of the entire route. I hope you'll join me. Hello, Mr. Lincoln. Our journey begins by entering the town of Wilmington, Illinois, on Route 53, formerly Old Route 66. Wilmington, known as the Island City, is situated on the banks of the Kankakee River. A little more about Wilmington later. Now let's pull into the launching pad restaurant and gift shop and get a closer look at Wilmington's favorite son, the Gemini Giant, a reconfigured Muffler Man. Muffler Men were popular advertising characters used around the country in the 1960s and beyond. They remain popular tourist attractions dotting Route 66. They can be found in towns such as Atlanta, Illinois, Springfield, Missouri, among others. This particular Muffler Man stands at an impressive 30 feet tall. I've read recently that the launching pad is going under new ownership, and I hope that's true, because the launching pad is an institution on Route 66, at least it is in Illinois. So if it was to reopen, that would be fantastic news. Unfortunately, our time visiting the Giant has come to an end, and we must continue our journey on down the road. Let's see what other interesting and unique things we can discover. Cool old porch, nice place to sit and watch Route 66 travelers. Coming up on the left is the Route 66 Creamery. This business has been here a year or so, replacing another ice cream shop. As we enter the downtown area of Wilmington on Route 66, if you keep your eyes peeled to the right, just past the mobile station, you will see a famous mini Sinclair dinosaur perched on the roof. Hello, Dino. Route 66 Bar and Grill on the left. You should probably stop there sometime. A cool old corner building here on the right. Look at that old brick. Especially in the back. You can definitely tell that's old. Now we're entering the island in Wilmington, crossing over the Kankakee River Channel on a classic 66 style bridge. There's Nellie's, also on the right, a popular restaurant on Route 66. Wilmington House Family Restaurant. There are plenty of places to eat along Route 66 in Wilmington, Illinois. As we approach the second bridge, we will be exiting the island and crossing over the Kankakee River. Look at those American flags. I love to see that, and I love this country. Absolutely magnificent. Well, our time through Wilmington is coming to an end. As we continue heading southbound to our next stop, we will be in Braidwood, Illinois. I hope to see you there. Stopped off at the Polka Dot Drive-In on Route 66 in Braidwood. Another cool drive-in. Been by here a few times. Unfortunately, I've never went in, but it definitely is a piece of Route 66. Jake Elwood. As we continue our trek down Route 66, while in Braidwood, don't forget to check out the Braidwood Zoo, a unique art installation. And maybe pop over and look at the Sun Motel, made famous in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, starring Steve Martin and John Candy, one of my all-time favorites. In the movie, the Sun Motel was known as the Braidwood Inn. Now let's see what our next stop in Godley, Illinois has to offer as we continue our trip down 66. Now we're in Godley, Illinois, next stop south of Braidwood, and we're at the Mining Black Diamonds Braidwood Coal Boom. It's a little scuffed up there, but it's an interesting little stop. Been here before, not exactly sure if you can go in there. I think there's a door, but every time we've been here, it's been closed, or at least I've been too scared to try the door. But it's a pretty cool little stop if you happen to be here. So if you happen to be here in Godley, you can collect one of these. It's 1 million, Mother Road Million. Says be sure to get Mother Road Million from each of these towns, and we're going to be in a decent share of them. And it came off that door. We say goodbye to Godley, Illinois, and continue our trek southward on Route 66. Our next stop is going to be the former location of the Riviera restaurant, located just northeast of Gardner, Illinois, and situated right next to the Mazon River. The Riviera restaurant was the brainchild of Jim Giroux. In 1927, he bought a coal mine office and a former church in South Wilmington, Illinois, and moved them to this location and attached them together. The Riviera restaurant, or Roadhouse, provided a place to go for alcohol and gambling during Prohibition. Booze and slot machines were located in the basement behind an iron door in the event there was a raid. A streetcar purchased from Kankakee was later turned into a diner and was placed in the backyard of the property. And later, a zoo and gas station were also added. Jim and his wife Rose, along with their 4 children, moved there in 1928. Family members would continue to operate and live at this location until 1974. In 1973, Bob and Peggy Kraft assumed ownership and continued to operate as the previous owners did, but probably without the need for a basement speakeasy. The Krafts kept serving customers until retiring in 2008. The Riviera briefly reopened in 2009. Unfortunately, on June 8, 2010, the Riviera restaurant, or Roadhouse, burned down. Now, all that's left is this sign that was placed here in 2019. I wonder if Al Capone really did ever stop here. I guess we'll never know for sure. As we leave the hallowed ground of the Riviera behind, we now continue southward once again to the community of Gardner, Illinois, just a short distance away from this old place. There are some important Route 66 stops in Gardner that we need to check out. And one of those connects back to the Riviera restaurant, where we just left. But first up, we make a stop at the shop on Route 66. Look at those State 66 shields on the road. And yes, I eventually did make it inside. after shooting some exterior video and taking some pictures. But once inside, it was amazing. The largest amount of Coca-Cola memorabilia I have ever seen in my life, plus all things Route 66. If you're traveling Route 66 or just in the Gardner area, I highly suggest stopping in here. You'll enjoy it. The owner, Tom Perkins, has a vast array of knowledge in and around the Gardner area and its particular section of Route 66. Very interesting. Proceeding on to the next stop, and that stop is the two-room jail, which was built in 1906. And if I remember correctly, it remained in use until the late 1950s. Let's pull in and check it out. Or check in. Now I'm in jail, in a two-cell jail, with a tiny little commode. I bet this was a happening place. Probably not the best place to stay for the evening, but sometimes you didn't have a choice. You get drunk, you get riled up, and you're going to end up at a place like this. We've moved over next door from the jail, and you're looking at the Streetcar Diner's current location. After, from what I understand, it spent about 55 years at the Riviera restaurant's location by the river. It was originally here in town, in Gardner. Then it was moved out there, and then after the fire was moved back in town to this spot. With Gardner now in the rear view, we continue our Route 66 adventure, heading southbound towards the community of Dwight. Dwight, Illinois has a rich history when it comes to Route 66, and we're going to check out at least one popular spot and maybe pop in somewhere else as well. Time has kind of gotten away from us, and we need to get something to eat. So we're going to stop off at one of our favorite restaurants on the route. The old Route 66 Family Restaurant in Dwight, Illinois. Great food and great atmosphere. You're looking at Ambler's Texaco gas station, a historic Route 66 filling station. It's also known as Becker's Marathon gas station. The station was built in 1933 by Jack Shore and was eventually sold to Basil Tubby Ambler in 1938. This facility continued dispensing gasoline until 1999. Ambler's Texaco gas station was the longest operating gas station on Route 66 when it closed. In 2001, Ambler's was added to the U.S. National Registry of Historic Places, with major restoration being completed in 2007, with the Visitor Center opening in May 2007. While I wandered around the property, the station had closed and I wasn't able to go in. but I have been here before. And the coolest thing I learned, and if I remember correctly from the gentleman that was working there that day, was that Paul McCartney stopped here in 2008 while Sir Paul was on his Route 66 trip with future wife Nancy. This station, along with a couple of others in Illinois, are my favorites along the entire route. One of those being Soulsby's service station in Mount Olive, Illinois, and a station you will see later in the video. These old service stations, such as Ambler's, are loaded with American charm. We're saying so long to Dwight, and we're once again heading south on Route 66 to the small community of Odell, Illinois, rich in its own Route 66 history, and where possibly my favorite old service station is located. Let's see what else we can find. But first, we need to stop right here and check out a little piece of 66 history that's now just a memory. And if you look ahead off in the distance, you'll see our next stop. This is a pedestrian underpass under the original alignment of the Mother Road from 1926 to 1946. During this period, traffic was so congested that it became necessary to build an underground passage to safely cross churchgoers and school children. In 1947, with the advent of the lane bypass 2 blocks west, this became Business Route 66, and the tunnel, no longer needed, was filled in. What do you think, St. Paul? We're now at the Standard Oil gas station just down the street from the underpass in Odell, Illinois. This station was built in 1932 by contractor Patrick O'Donnell. It was a Standard Oil station until 1940, when it switched to Phillips 66 brands, and once again later on, changing brands to Sinclair products. The station changed hands, and Robert Close operated it until it closed in 1999. The Standard Oil gas station was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places on November 9, 1997. This particular station is a favorite of mine for various reasons, from the shingled siding to the trifold service bay doors. The bays being added in the 1940s, to the metal ceiling tiles, and the wording placed on the roof in shingles. So unique and interesting. I really do love this place. Goodbye, old station. You're definitely a popular spot. And goodbye, Odell. It's been fun. But our journey must continue down the road. We've made it to the famous Merrimack Caverns barn, across Route 66 from the township of Cayuga, just northeast of Pontiac, Illinois. I-55 is there in the background, with drivers flying on by, some of them not realizing the mural is even there. Merrimack Caverns holds a special place in our hearts. My wife has been going there since she was a child, and I started going with her in the mid-1990s. It's a wonderful and fun place to visit. And again, we get a look at what remains of Route 66. If you look to the right, you can still see the now unused southbound lanes of Route 66, when it was, at the time, 4 lanes through this area. Now, it's just history within the grass. We're now rolling into Pontiac, Illinois. Before heading downtown, we're going to check out one more historic bridge on Route 66. This is the historic Division Street Bridge, as you can see on the sign. And it was built in 1926 as part of Route 4. On November 11th, 1926, the alignment of Route 4 through Pontiac became Route 66. Though this bridge has been reconstructed, it still holds the charisma of the Route 66 bridge style I love. Well, we're here in the heart of Pontiac, Illinois. Now I'm standing across from the Route 66 Association location. It's also a very impressive museum with Route 66 and all sorts of memorabilia. We're kind of crunched for time right now, but again, I suggest stopping in if you're in Pontiac and checking it out. It's well worth your time. Let's see what's around the corner. It's the famous Bob Waldmeyer bus. Bob Waldmeyer was a gifted artist and an institution when it comes to Route 66. So much of the interesting and most notable Route 66 artwork was produced by Bob. Bob traveled in a Volkswagen bus on Route 66, eventually stepping up to his wonderful piece of art you see in front of you. The character of Fillmore in the movie Cars was based on Bob Waldmeyer. Pontiac definitely loves its murals, and so do I. Such detailed and excellent work on each and every one of these murals. Even making backs of buildings look like fronts. There's Bob and replicas of his famous postcards. I do appreciate towns that embrace adding murals on their buildings. It creates character and makes your town quite unique. And who doesn't love a car show, especially when it's free? Even this cat's getting involved. Nice paint job. Now that is a flame job. Nice. What do you think of this car show, Mr. Lincoln? What you thinking, Lincoln? Old Glory flapping away in the blue sky. This is going to conclude today's journey. Thank you for joining us, and look for more journeys down the Mother Road, or any road, wherever it may lead us. I hope to see you then.